This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Welcome to Moments with Foo. I'm your host, James Foo Torres, but you can call me Foo, hence the name of the podcast. And today I have Kerry L, he's somebody that focuses on strategy like me. He likes taking things from potential to reality and doing good business by doing good. And I'm going to let him tell you more about that. But first, Kerry, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me today, Foo.
I'm excited to start getting into things. So let's kick it off with a quick introduction about yourself and your company.
Sure. And again, my name is Kerry Bass. I'm actually Kerry L. Bass. I have an elder son that's named Kerry J. Bass. And so we often get confused, not when you see us together. But anyway, my company is Potential to Reality Consulting. And that kind of explains what we really are focused on. And that is being able to help organizations that are really trying to make an impact in their realm, their environment, their markets, the people that they serve, to be able to turn their potential into reality in order for them to be able to do well by doing good.
Yeah, I love that phrase. You know, because when you focus on doing good and adding value and doing things right, like things good business seems to follow, right? So
absolutely.
Can you tell us some, given your expertise on working with companies, what are some actionable tips or advice that you have for business owners in general, or a specific type of business owner that you typically serve?
Sure. We serve all sorts of organizations, but I call myself a boutique management consulting firms, and that means that I'm kind of a semi-retired, and the people that I work with and my associates are all senior level folks that really are focused on engagements and working with clients that really are trying to make an impact, and that is interesting for us to do work with. And so we work with small organizations, not-for-profit, government organizations, and commercial organizations that, again, are trying to do well by doing good, meaning that we only focus on those organizations that are trying to make a positive impact. My particular practice, I label and chunk everything, and I call it into strategy implementation. But it really focuses on working with leaders to be able to get clear about who and what they are and what they want from their organization, and how to be able to get their organization aligned on those critical few things to quickly move from ideas to get it to going in a time frame that allows the organization to be successful quickly. And so it incorporates things like, first of all, the strategy assessment, being able to talk about the culture of the organization, but it really starts out with, and that's the key thing that I recommend to every organizational leader, is to be clear about the personal beliefs and direction that the leader wants to take that organization. Personal integrity. That's what it's really about.
Personal integrity. Yeah, I like that. And one thing that you mentioned that I really resonate with, because this is something that I also do, is like doing a strategy assessment, right? Like starting every engagement with an assessment. Where are you at right now? Where you want to be, right? Let's talk about goals. And not just financial goals, but also just what are your personal and professional goals attached to them, and then go from there to develop a strategic plan, and then start the implementation process, right? So
Correct.
a lot of people just kind of like, oh, I know how to do this specific thing, and they're just trying to just implement that specific strategy or method or to doing things, rather than just start with an assessment, uh, then analyze goals and pair things with a strategic plan. So that definitely resonates with me, because it's a very big focus for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the areas that I focus on, and a background skill that I have, is in strategic quality management. And there's a Japanese quality axiom. I won't use the Japanese terms because I can't remember the Japanese terms very well. I have very limited capability in that language. But the bottom line of it is that a lot of quality is focused on the elimination of waste, but it's the waste at the worker level doing the daily work, the workers at the mid functional levels of those leaders being able to enable those frontline folks to do the work. But it starts with the executive, and if the executive picks the wrong strategy or does not keep up with the strategy, there's really not a whole lot that the middle layers, the functional layers, or the frontline folks can do. And so there's not much, focusing on waste reduction or process improvement that will fix a bad strategy.
Definitely. I mean, everything starts top down, right? Like you have to make sure that the leaders are are setting the right strategies, are keeping the team accountable, and are really driving that mission and vision. Because if not, then doesn't matter how good your workers, right? Like your people that are doing actual work are, like, if you're not driving the mission, the vision, and you're not having everybody to be in the same page with the right strategy, then things are not gonna move in the right direction, or they're gonna be very sloppy.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
very, very, very important. So is there any specific challenges, or common roadblocks that you have come across, that outside of the things that we have mentioned already, that you seem like something common that you help people overcome, or you've overcome yourself?
I think one of the things that really gets in the way of organizations being able to move in the direction that they want, other than being clear about what they really want and who they are, is the cult in that culture, but is ensuring that you have the right people in the right places. And that talent optimization is a term that one of the areas that I work with, and that starts with the leadership team. That first of all, the leader has to be clear again about what they're trying to accomplish and the culture of that organization. But the very next thing they need to do is look at their next layer leadership team and decide, do you have the people that are with you in that mission, and are they capable of being able to accomplish what you need them to accomplish? And so you have to, right off the bat, align your leadership team to be in sync with the vision and the culture, and capable and willing to do what it takes to get there. And sometimes that's a difficult thing to do, because a lot of times it's hard for a leader to assess the willingness of a person, and then actually to take action on getting that team righted, because that may mean that you have to do some hard things right off the bat to get your organization going in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah. Like a culture, it's extremely important. Extremely important. That's when everybody being aligned. Again, kind of like what we were talking earlier, but even more so than just the mission, the vision, also the values, right, and the core
Yeah.
values of the company. Defining those things and get everybody on the same page. So that way, doesn't matter. Like, you have different backgrounds, different things, but like at least the core values, everybody can respect those, and be in sync. So that way, everybody's just rowing in the same direction, right? Like, just
Yeah.
pushing forward in the same direction. That's very, very, very important. Is there any one or two takeaways that you would like to leave the audience with you haven't covered yet?
Well, again, the once you get the top team aligned, you need to get the rest of the organization aligned on the critical few. So many times, people want to change everything right down to the minutest detail when they're trying to implement a new strategy. And sure enough, those things are really important. But when you're trying to move an organization to get to a producing level quickly, you have to focus on those critical three or four things. That's it. What are the critical three or four things? And that needs to translate down the organization. Everybody needs to have on their agenda three or four things that they're focusing on to get done that align with the focus of where you're going.
Yeah, like prioritizing the right things, and make sure that we don't have an endless to-do list, especially as leaders start assigning those tasks to the
Yeah.
teams. And it's very like critical, because if you put too much, right, like nothing gets done. So aligning with those key tasks is very, very important. And I would say too, it's like make sure that um everybody everybody is it's clear on what's that value that they're bringing to the market, right? Like, okay, what makes us different, right? Like, think about the experience that you're causing to your, the people that you're serving. So that way, that's the difference between like, there's all different types of hotels, right? So like, what's the difference between like a very cheap hotel and a more expensive hotel? It's just the experience. They're both essentially giving you the same thing of like a room for you to stay, right? So I like emphasizing those things, because they're very important to, you have your things to do, but then also how you do them, to deliver a very high quality experience that differentiates you from anybody else, and then that reflects great reputation, great brand, right? And that way, that's a great differentiator.
Yeah, and there's varying missions on that, and there's nothing wrong with having a mission. You may decide from the top that you want to deliver the best stay at the lowest price possible. That means that you need to make some decisions around how you're going to operate, and some of those things then may require you not to do the things that the very top brands do, or not try to emulate that. You really want to focus on the value, the cost, low cost. I'm trying to give you a very clean, safe room at the best possible price. And so that means is that you do things to make sure that your staff is very efficient, and that they don't have to go back again to correct errors. They do things quickly. They do it right the first time, and they're on to the next task. They try to get the clients to help themselves, and make sure that resources and supplies and all those things are available that will prevent an additional call. That's just one example. But the other thing that I wanted to point out, and it's kind of a cliche that I've learned over the years, is that time is not your friend. The longer you take to go from idea to producing results, the harder and the more difficult it'll be to actually achieve those results. People don't stay in transitions forever. They will settle somewhere along the way.
Yeah, that's good observation, right? Like, they'll settle somewhere, right?
Right.
So it's
May
a,
not be
it's
what
a,
you
it's a
want, but they're going to stop somewhere. Right.
like that. I like that perspective. It's like, people will settle for something. So just make sure that they settle for the right things, and make sure that you're on top of those things, right? So
Absolutely.
so no, it's been a good, good conversation, talking about, like, just emphasizing things that people often overlook, of, making sure that you start with strategy, making sure that you take care of your leadership, and display things from top to bottom, and really align that mission, vision, and values to create a very good culture and have everybody in sync and make sure that you get people to settle in the right things, right? Like just kind of it's a good 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 way to kind of emphasize key things that are, it might sound simplistic in a way, but like are key things that like business is simple. It's just not easy, and when we are doing things by starting with strategy, things really get done more efficiently, right? Like, and that's ultimately what business is. It's just a matter of, not if you can do something, it's like, can you do it consistently and repeatedly and efficiently, correct?
Exactly.
That, like, I know you mentioned different types of organizations that you work with, and typical people that you would like to serve. So just to kind of give the audience, like, what type of people you would like to connect with, so people can refer to that, and how can people find you?
Yeah, I'm happy to work with leaders. I'd love to discuss what you're trying to do for your organization. Again, it doesn't really matter whether it's for profit, not for profit, or government, state, local, or federal. I'm happy to connect and to help. I do have limited language capabilities, and I'm primarily English, but I work with people around the world that have good English skills, and so so they I can help out when we can communicate well together. The best way to get in touch with me is to email me at info@makingitreality.com. That's our domain name, and our website is makingitreality.com, www.makingitreality.com. There's contact links there too that you can reach out to us, set up an appointment to chat and find out, how can we help each other.
Yeah, and we'll have the links in the description, and thanks for taking the time to come here and talk a little bit about strategy, something that I'm like really passionate about, and finding ways to how to explain this in different angles, right? And bring like the unique perspective of people, and really kind of hammer this message, right, of the importance of strategy and implementation of it, right, in an efficient way. So thanks, Kerry, to come here. I apologize for messing your name.
No problem. But I'm glad you got it corrected, because the rest of us Basses are really happy to hear our name right. So thank you, Foo, for having me anyway.
Yeah. I don't know
me
why
and the rest
I
of the
just
Bass
had that
clan vicariously.
Right, I don't know why. Like, I knew, like, we talked about it, right, in our previous call, like, and I was like, I got it, and then I just, like, it just came out like that, and I'm like, why? I don't know. But
No
Kerry L, Bass receipt. I don't know. Kerry L Bass, thank you for coming here to the show, and I hope that people can get some value from this and connect with you, and thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
So this was Kerry and Foo, and this is us signing off.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Foo with your host, Foo. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.